Two.
All right, so now we're going to talk about the Los Angeles Rams here for part three of the Tony Baloney Week 10 recap. So the Rams had a very interesting week. No Matt Stafford lost to a concussion, and now, unfortunately, our number one wide receiver, the star himself, Cooper Kupp, has went down with another injury, a lower leg injury. I'm not 100% sure what the injury is, but it apparently, according to Sean McVay, it's not worst case, but it didn't sound good and it doesn't look good.
It didn't look good. I seen it.
Yeah, so
He was limping.
I'm worried. I'm starting to worry about Cooper Kupp. Like we just talked about CeeDee Lamb rest of the season. Where does he rank? I might take CeeDee Lamb over Kupp if Kupp is missing a few weeks and I'm desperate to make the playoffs. I got to see what this injury is going to be like. I'm starting to worry though. As someone that owns Kupp in 3 leagues, how do you feel?
As long as Stafford's on the field, Cup is his guy. They're butt buddies.
But is Kupp going to be on the field? Like what if he misses a few weeks or
Yeah. Well, if you're a team, well, then my advice to you is if you're a team that is on the cusp, trade them to a team that's not on the cusp and get like two starters to fill that gap.
yeah, or maybe you look for a CeeDee Lamb or a Mara or
Yeah.
Jalen Waddle, someone like that or AJ Brown, or
DeAndre Hopkins.
maybe you can get lucky at Hopkins, Devontae Adams. Just test the waters and see how that person views Kupp. And I agree. I think if Kupp does miss a few weeks, I want to say, like you said, I like that you brought up Stafford because I think even before Kupp got injured, he looked horrible. He had 3 catches for -1.
Negative. Yeah.
And so he scored less than zero, less than Clyde in my standard league where I traded for Kupp and Mahomes, and a huge deal. And
Also,
I was so disappointed. I honestly thought he was going to do terrible, but not this terrible. This was horrible. Without Stafford, he looked lost.
also check your trade deadlines in your league because all leagues have different trade deadlines.
That's a big one.
Question: if anyone sees this, when's your trade deadline in Dynasty? If you have a Dynasty league and you're watching this, when is your trade deadline? Leave a comment. I'd like to know if you even have one.
Good question for all the dynasty
Yeah.
or keeper guys out there. So just to piggyback on the Cooper Kupp injury, if Cooper Kupp is hurt next week or for the next few weeks, and Stafford comes back, how we feel about Allen Robinson? Are we starting Allen Robinson as a flex, wide receiver 3, bye-week filler?
Maybe a bye week filler.
Matt
Not
Stafford's
with
got to throw to
confidence.
someone.
Not with
He hasn't
confidence.
he hasn't been great, but he's got to throw to someone. It's either Van Jefferson, maybe they sign Odell now. So either Van Jefferson or Allen Robinson right now, or Ben Scarani, who I don't like at all. I might start to see Allen Robinson's a free agent, one of my standard leagues. That's not PPR for all you guys. I might consider picking him up and looking to replace him with Kupp if I have no better options. Definitely something to consider. Robinson hasn't been great, but without Coop there, Coop was
Try and find a better option.
eating targets after target. Robinson could get a touchdown here and there, and he could win you a week. So now let's move on to the Rams backfield. Another disgusting situation, which looks like a 3-way split between Kyren Williams, who seems to be the receiving back, the rookie, Darrell Henderson, who got a lucky goal line touchdown that saved his day, and Cam Akers, who has somehow worked his way back after that whole weird debacle where he sat out. They tried to trade him. Nobody wanted him. Now he's starting to play almost as much as Henderson. What are we thinking about the Rams backfield rest of the season, Tyler?
I don't know. Just don't even start any of them unless you have to.
I completely agree. It's ugly. I think you don't touch any of them until one of them proves they're the lead
They're
guy.
none neither. I mean, the best one's supposed to be Cam Akers, but none of them are good.
No, like you knew Cam Akers was one of the guys I did not draft
Yeah.
until my very last league. For those who don't know, I play in 25 leagues and I purposely draft every single player in my top 150 super flex rankings. So I have every starting QB possible out of the 32 teams, and I had every player in my top 150. And Cam Akers and Javonte Williams were the last 2 guys I did not draft. And it looks like my gut feeling was right about both of them. I didn't trust either of them. I knew Akers was gonna bust. I forced myself to draft him anyway, and I regret it every day. Keeps you up at night. Don't touch any of those guys unless you are so beyond desperate in a 14-team league only. 12-team leagues, there's better options.
It'd have to be Darrell
Not the
Henderson.
waivers, trade for someone. Don't trust them because they're gonna put up 5 points and you're gonna lose because of them. Don't trust them whatsoever. So
If you do start him, you got to go with Henderson.
yeah, if we're ranking them rest of the season, I'm going Henderson, Kyron Williams in PPR, Cam Akers in non PPR as the number 2 guy. But I definitely don't want Akers. I definitely don't want Kyron Williams, and I really don't want Henderson either, unless you're super, super, super desperate. So now to bring up a guy we talked about before, DeAndre Hopkins. He remains elite no matter the quarterback. Kyler Murray, Colt McCoy, Deshaun Watson,
Trace McSorley.
Trace McSorley for a little bit, yeah. And put on the fucking Trace McSorley
Yeah, the song.
TikTok song. Yeah, that's great. All the Texans quarterbacks that were terrible during his time in Houston. Hopkins, unlike Cooper Kupp, is elite no matter the quarterback. You start that guy no matter who is the quarterback. It could be me and Tyler back there. Hike. We could find a way to get it to freaking
I
DeAndre
could sling
Hopkins.
it.
Absolutely. A little 10-yard check down. He'll do the rest. Hopkins is super elite. He's a top 10 wide receiver rest of the season.
I knew he was gonna be. I knew he was gonna be a stud. I mean, well, how do you feel about him when Marquise Brown comes back? But
I still love him. I think that will help open up the offense for Kyler, and that'll help Hopkins not get double teamed. So
Zach Ertz might be out for a while. I don't know what
exactly
happened.
another thing that's going to help Hopkins, even if Brown comes back. I'm not worried about that. Now you just brought up Zach Ertz being back, which brings me to my next topic, which is Rondale Moore. He looks elite, not elite, but he looks really good all of a sudden.
That great catch. That was a sick catch.
9 catches for just under 100 yards. He's putting up good numbers for a few weeks in a row now. Are you trusting Rondale Moore as a wide receiver 2? Top 25 guy.
I mean, I'm not starting him. But you need to.
I have him in 2 leagues, a 14-team non-PPR league, and I'm starting him every week because I have no choice since Brandon Cooks is horrible. But I love what
he should have had a touchdown today, Brandon. We'll get to him, but he should have had a touchdown.
Yes, he should have. Rondale Moore has been a pleasant surprise. I'm trusting him rest of the season now, especially with Ertz out until Marquise Brown gets back. When Brown gets back, I don't trust Rondale Moore anymore. But without him, and especially without Ertz, to me, he's a top 32 receiver. I'm flexing him or putting him at wide receiver if I'm weak at wide receiver. I love Rondale Moore for the rest of the season outlook with Brown out. Almost must start territory for me. The next game I want to talk about is the Vikings. Are they legit? Did we finally get the answer? What do you think? Are they a real Super Bowl team? Fantasy aside, are the Vikings a legit Super Bowl contender?
Kirk Cousins is going to do this.
He's going to choke?
Yeah.
I was getting up to do it. Kirk Cousins, national televised games, that man will choke. What's wrong with him when it comes to National League televised games? I have no fucking clue, but he always chokes. But hey, you beat the Bills like that, you're legit. Just like my Jets did. Oh, sorry, just like our Jets did. I think the Vikings have to be taken seriously now. You know, it was a slow start, but Cousins came up clutch. They had a few touchdowns that were very close for Jefferson. Jefferson had 2 touchdowns that were, one was taken away with a replay, one he was 1 yard away. So you're talking about 2 yards for Jefferson on both those plays, and he would have had a 3-touchdown game, which would have been ridiculous because he set a new career high for receiving yards. But hey, the Bills are no joke, and the Vikings with Dalvin Cook, with Thielen, Hockenson, Jefferson, Cousins, a good defense. I think they're legit. I think Jefferson is a top 3 receiver rest of the season. I love that man. I took him 7th overall in one of my half PPR leagues. I don't regret it whatsoever. Although maybe I take Kelsey over him. But hey, man, Jefferson has been great. These are the type of weeks where he wins you weeks. And he's so fun to own. Seeing him get up and gritty, got to hit the gritty real quick. Hey, it's the most fun part of my Sunday is watching the Vikings and getting to gritty with my boy, Justin Jefferson. And then another guy brought up Dalvin Cook. He had an all right performance, pretty good performance. But I only say all right because he got saved by that one run 80-yard run. How do you feel about Cook's performance as a Cook owner yourself, Tyler?
I traded him, remember?
Oh, you did. So how do you feel after watching that game today?
You know how much I was on the fence about that trade, right?
Yeah, no, yeah, we texted about that.
You think I won that trade still?
Just tell the viewers and remind me what was it?
Hmm.
What was the deal?
I got Kelsey and Damian Harris for Dalton Schultz and Dalvin Cook.
Oh, hands down, you won that deal. Give me, give me Kelsey all day over
But
Cook.
now I'm stuck starting Fournette. I'm stuck starting Walker, and I'm stuck starting Foreman, which is fine, which is fine still. But
That's not fine. That's above average. Fournette's your RB3.
yeah,
Foreman's your RB2. Walker's RB1. I love that trade for you. I Schultz, I like him for the rest of the season, but Kelsey is a different breed of a human. Dalvin Cook, I don't think is a first round pick if we redraft today. Kelsey is a top six.
he's been the last. What is he? He scored 26 points 2 weeks ago. Something like I mean, I think like 15 points, and then his 23 points today. Let's
Yes,
see,
but 14 of those points came from one run,
one
and
run.
that's not sustainable.
Dalvin
I
Cook.
always tell people touchdowns are not sustainable. You're not getting one touchdown a game
So yeah,
unless you're having a Hall of Fame.
25, 13, 23. So I mean,
That full PPR. Make sure you tell the viewers
yeah, full
what.
PPR.
Yeah,
I play unless it's Tony's league. I play full PPR only. Tony's league is half PPR.
I play everything. By the way, I play full PPR, non PPR, half PPR, tight end premium, which is 1.5
I
PPR.
do, yeah, I
Tight
do
end.
that in another league too. Tight end premium.
Yeah, I do a little bit of everything. So you never know what the viewers are doing. So always try to tell the viewers. But I freaking I love Dalvin Cook, but I don't think he's first round worthy. Mid second round pick is where I would take him. He got lucky today. It was a tough matchup, so take that for what you will. But
I still think he's a beast.
he is. But a second round caliber beast. It's not a first round not an Eckler, Chubb, McCaffrey, Saquon, Diggs, Cup, Kelsey. None of those type of guys. But
I wish I was able to talk that guy into Fournette and Schultz for Kelsey because he wanted Fournette and Foreman.
Well. What do I always say? Can't cry over spilled milk. You made the deal. You won the deal. Just be happy. You have a beat that tight end every week. He's never gonna shit the bed. Like
So when do you think he's gonna decline?
Kelsey.
Yeah.
That's like saying that's when is Tom Brady gonna decline? I'm no psychic. I can't guess. 34, 35. He's got Mahomes attached to him. That's why he's so good.
Yeah.
All he has to do is walk into the end zone, use his size, get open, and scores. He's amazingly strong. He's shifty. He's very smart. Football runs in that family. Jason Kelsey's very good. Travis Kelsey's very good. They're a beast pairing in the NFL. I could see him lasting a few more years. Top six pick for me next year, for sure. All right, so now to bring up one of the guys I said was my sit of the week, and I hit the nail on the head. I said this guy's going to score less than 10 in half PPR. He scored less than 8 in half PPR. Adam Thielen shit the bed versus Minnesota. As I told you guys, they acquired TJ Hawkinson, who has now taken over that number 2 role behind Jefferson. It goes Jefferson, Dalvin Cook when you count the run game, Hawkinson, Thielen. Thielen is the 4th guy in that offense to get the ball. I don't like Thielen the rest of the way. I think he's a bye week filler at best. You don't start him at all in a 10-team league, only 12-team or deeper in a 14-team league. You might have to start him every week, especially if you have multiple flex, like on one of our leagues. But just don't expect more than 10. He has been terrible lately. While Hawkinson, the opposite, he left Detroit. His stock is on the rise. I think Hawkinson with another good game looks great. I think he was drafted as what? Tight end 6, tight end 5. I think he's right around there now.
You like Hawkinson?
Yes, I think you have.
I like Kelsey. You like Hawkinson?
Don't go there. You got to give me Ken Walker, Hawkinson plus to get me to even think about moving Kelsey. I like Hawkinson as a top 5, borderline top 5 tight end rest of the season. I think going to Minnesota was the best case scenario for him. One of the biggest trade deadline winners. I love him in Minnesota. Cousins seems to love him too. Huge upgrade from Irv Smith. How do you feel as a Hawkinson owner? Are you feeling good?
Yeah, definitely. Better offense. He'll be good.
Tough matchup too, and he still did good.
Yeah.
So now to talk about that tough matchup, that team that gave him a tough matchup, the Bills. Looks like Josh Allen's turnover problem. Another game with multiple turnovers. I believe he had 3 turnovers, 2 fumbles, or 2 picks, and 1 huge fumble that ended up costing them the game. Ball at the half-yard line. He
Yeah, that was
fumbled,
bad. That was
they
bad. That was
scored a
crazy.
touchdown. That was the game of the year, by the way. That was
He,
fantastic.
but I mean, he didn't practice all week. He'll be okay.
He's a vet.
Yeah.
Excuses. I still think he's my quarterback number 1 the rest of the season. But I'm like on a scale of 1 to 100, I'm at like a 5 to 10 on the worry scale instead of being at a 1. You
He'll
know,
be okay.
he will, but I'm starting to wonder, why is he turning the ball over so much versus Minnesota and the Jets? Not the most elite defenses. Now they're good defenses, above average. But
He had stress like this last year too.
5 turnovers in 2 games is no joke, and they lost both games with the elbow problem. I'm starting to wonder, is the elbow hurting him more than what we're getting to know about?
Maybe.
Something to think about. What do you think about 2 touchdown Devin single, not carry, because he got more than 1 carry, single Terry? How you feeling?
I feel that I love that second round pick that we got for Nyheim Hines.
Yes, Naheem Hines is a bust. Absolutely. James Cook has been a bust in
Yeah.
Dynasty and redraft. But Singletary, what do you think about him? Is he a bust?
I don't like the backfield. I mean, he's not a bust. No, he's a good RB2 flex, but I don't like the backfield of the Bills. They're pass first. Josh Allen is the best running back on the team.
I completely agree with that statement. The elbow injury might have made Allen actually run more, believe it or not. So my point on Devin Singletary, for anybody that owns him, he's a perfect sell high candidate. Check your trade deadline, like Tyler said, and try to move Devin Singletary. He got 2 touchdowns, only 47 yards on 12-ish carries. So his yards per carry, yards per attempt are not bad. But the problem is the touchdowns will not be there week after week. Without a touchdown, this man shit the bed. He's not getting the ball enough from Allen in the past game, along with he's not going to get enough touchdown because Allen steals them, or James Cook, or maybe Naheem Hines gets involved. I sell Singletary for whatever you can right
What
now.
was the point of them getting Hines? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, because he didn't even return kicks. Duke Johnson was returning kicks now, and Duke Johnson got some carries. Like that's
What's the point? Why he actually had a role on the Colts?
Yeah, it's truly Hines has went from being as a viable option in deep leagues to being pretty irrelevant. It's crazy. He's one of the biggest losers in the trade deadline for sure. I think I agree with Tyler. Avoid that backfield if possible. If I could sell Singletary for Cordell Patterson, would you do that?
Nah, I don't
No.
know.
Singletary for Deontay Foreman?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, me too. Singletary for Najee Harris?
I mean, Najee's gonna get you like 10 to 12 points, like 10 to 13 points, like guaranteed. Like that's pretty much what he's scoring every week. If you're okay with that, or if you want, maybe a Singletary maybe you get you 20, maybe you'll get you like 7 though.
I'd take Najee over him for sure.
Yeah.
I like I said, the touchdowns won't be there. It's tricky. I want to sell high on Singletary if you can. If you need a receiver, go out there and throw out an offer for somebody coming off a bad game like Olave. I'd really like that trade. If you have Singletary, you can get Olave. I would trade Singletary for James Conner. My start of the week, 2 touchdowns, did fantastic.
Oh, he's so annoying.
I told you that game script was gonna work for James Conner. We'll get to that later. Oh wait, did we talk? We talked about the Rams game, didn't we?
Yeah.
All right. So real quick, just oh yeah, I skipped over James Conner. Yeah. So those 2 touchdowns. I mean, the game script was there. I think James Conner, if you know the Cardinals are going to be ahead, which is not most games because they have a losing record, believe it or not, you start James Conner.
So
If they're
next
going to
week,
be trailing, you consider benching James Conner.
next week they
That's
play
how I
the
feel.
49ers. Are you going to start him?
So in the two non-best ball leagues I have Connor in, I have no choice but to start him. It's either Damian Harris or Connor or Gus Edwards, and I don't trust. I'm going with Connor. And I have a non-PPR league, which is Connor's specialty. With two starting flex, I need to start Connor. It's either Connor or Pacheco. I'm going with Connor. Yeah,
I'm starting Connor next week because of bye weeks. I have to.
yeah, I have no problem with that. I'm starting Connor when there's no bye week, so I like Connor this season. Top 25 running back. I like him as a flex or a third running back. If you can get him at RB2, he's not the worst option. I think you could do a lot worse. So I definitely take him over Singletary without a doubt.
How many more games? How many more games do we have to talk about here? We got two,
Now
three.
we got the Browns to talk about. The Browns look like a complete joke. They looked horrible. Amari Cooper looked terrible. Harrison Bryant scored a touchdown, which I wish could have went to David Njoku if he played, because David Njoku looks like one of the best players out of that team, besides Nick Chubb and Amari Cooper. I think
Wait, did Ninjogo didn't play?
no, yeah, he didn't play. I'm saying I wish he was to play because he might have got
Okay.
that touchdown instead of
Nick,
Harrison
Nick
Bryant.
Chubb saved his day though with a touchdown.
He did, but he
Luckily.
didn't look good. Kareem Hunt looked terrible. 7 touches for 19 yards for Kareem Hunt. Do you think Kareem Hunt is a bench for us this season?
Yeah, I have him on my bench.
So you're even bye week.
I have Nick Chubb. I have Nick Chubb too, and Austin Eckler. So
So if Austin Eckler gets hurt, you starting Hunt.
I'm starting Foreman.
You're starting Foreman anyway, aren't you?
Starting Hopkins, Amon Ra, and Chris Godwin, along with Kelsey. That team is unbelievable. 9-1.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you're a lucky one there. I'm in a situation where I have to
That's a
consider
12
starting.
team PPR league. That's a league. That's a team. I better win that league.
Okay. That's good. I have one league where I have to kind of consider starting if it's a standard league that I just told you about with two flexes where I have James Conner and Pacheco. But I'm benching Hunt for Pacheco next week without hesitation. I think Hunt is a bench for us this season unless you're super desperate. He's too boom or bust with not enough boom.
Yeah, he only had like one boom game, maybe two.
The ceiling is nice, but the floor is just so low. I don't think you could trust Hunt for the rest of the season. I think maybe Deshaun Watson could revitalize that entire offense,
The passing game.
but you're banking on a lot. And I think they need Watson ASAP because they look
They
horrible.
like Chubb, but they like Chubb. He's always on the field now.
He is, but Hunt could play the passing role with Watson. But like I said, Watson could revitalize the whole offense. He could look terrible first time playing in over 2 years. We'll see. But all I know is they need him back because Brissett is not the answer. Amari Cooper needs Deshaun Watson. Donovan Peoples-Jones looks not bad. He doesn't look bad. But, in deeper leagues, Donovan Peoples-Jones is a legit startable player.
David Bell.
He's rostered in a few of my leagues. What?
David Bell.
Yeah, David Bell's a dynasty hold. Don't drop David Bell like he was dropped in our league, and we spent 25% of our fab budget on him.
$111 just to make. No one even put a bid on him. We could have bought him for $0.
Yeah, out of 500 that is. So it was over 25%, like 26%. But I like him long term. But Donovan Peoples-Jones could be like a Will Fuller type of guy for Deshaun Watson when he comes back. So besides Nick Chubb and maybe Njoku when he comes back, I don't want to start the Browns unless and Amari Cooper. I can start Cooper, but Cooper seems to only do good at home. Like his home road splits are really like drastic. So just pay attention with Cooper. It could be something you could pick up on and really benefit from. Now, what about the Dolphins that put the beat down on them?
Yeah.
Tua looked elite. How do you feel about Tua?
As long as he has those two guys, he's going to be good. They're just unbelievable.
I was super
Tariq
low.
Hill's hilarious. I love him.
Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, when he's like, the coach was like, we took the ping pong table. I was like, I bought him a new ping pong table with the Dolphins logo on it. He's a funny guy, man, and he's a beast.
And he streams Fortnite. So if you guys are into gaming, go watch Tyreek Hill. He plays with Tua, and I saw a video where he was telling Tua that he has a shitty mic, and for Christmas he's gonna buy him a new microphone.
He's
So
funny.
yeah,
He's
it is
funny.
funny. But Tua has been one of the guys I was down on to start the year.
Yeah,
I
you
had,
were.
I had a team where I had to start Tua, and because I missed out on Dak, and I was kicking myself for it. But it turns out I made the right decision on accident, and Tua looks great. So
I actually dropped Tua in a league, and I was talking to you, and I Kirk Cousins and Tua, and you're like, you better not start Tua. And I'm like, so I traded for Joe Burrow, and then I traded Kirk Cousins. And I'm like, all right, I have Joe Burrow. I don't need Tua. So I dropped him. Like, I don't need to hold two quarterbacks in this league. I mean, it's whatever.
it happens. At least it's only
Yeah.
one quarterback league. It could be worse. I mean, I was wrong on Tua. I'll admit it. I'll bite the bullet there, but he looks great. Tyreek Hill looks fantastic. Where are you drafting Tyreek Hill if you drafted right now?
He's I'm not sure after today, but he was the number one ranked PPR uh fantasy wide receiver. So
It's not like one week
um,
makes that big of a difference
are
anyway.
you
So where
drafting him before Kelsey?
No.
No? So you drafted him right after Kelsey?
Yes.
All right, so six,
For you?
five, six.
Okay, yeah. Hey, Tyreek Hill is that good. I'd say more seven.
I got him in the third round.
Yeah, fantastic. That's a steal.
Yep.
I only have him in one league. I thought I had to overpay for him in auction, but that team is fucking fantastic. Justin Fields, Joe Burrow in a two quarterback league with McCaffrey, Deontay Foreman, Eckler, Godwin, Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, and Joku, Waller, and Dulcich at
There
tight
you
end.
go. There you go.
My team is stacked. I could really look for like a Mark Andrews type to really
Yeah.
beat it, but boy, my team is putting up 180 per week. It's so nice. I have Deshaun Watson sitting on my bench too. I'm ready
So
to go.
some guy had Andrews, and I sent him. I was like, "Who do you want for And?" I sent them. I was like, I had a feeling he was going to take. I was like, I offered him Jonathan Taylor for Andrews, and he's like ETN minimum. Minimum. I'm like, damn. Andrews has been almost as bad as Taylor the past 3 weeks, and Taylor finally had a good game. So I mean, I'm like, minimum. Like you're asking. I think you're asking too much.
If I was deep at running back, I'd consider that.
Yeah.
I'm like, guys, having a difference maker at tight end makes all the difference in the world. There's two difference makers right now at tight end.
But
It's
one's
Travis
not even
Kelsey by a
playing.
mile, and then it's Mark Andrews down here. The
One's
rest
not
are on
even
the
playing.
floor.
And he's inconsistent. He's not as consistent.
He isn't, but he is a difference maker. He's clearing away by far the second best tight end, and he doesn't have a serious injury. That's a buy low opportunity, in my opinion. I like him. But let's move on to our next guy for the Dolphins, which I think is a huge win, one of the biggest winners from the trade deadline. Jeffrey Wilson. Is he a must start running back? Actually, I'll answer that question for you. He is absolutely a must start running back. Where do you rank him for rest of the season for running backs? Top 20, 15?
How many points did he have today? Let's see.
He scored 19, I want to say, in half PPR.
How much did he score last week?
15 and half PPR. This is completely guessing. I honestly don't own a lot
20,
of Wilson, but
22. So 10, 22 and 16. Yeah, it was looking pretty good. I mean, they ran all over them. I'm pretty sure the third string running back even scored a touchdown. Raheem Mostert scored. He scored. The third string scored. So it's also going to depend on the game script. If Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are more involved that day, maybe they won't lean on the passing game or the running game as much.
yeah, with those weapons, they could definitely be ahead. I like Jeff Wilson as a top 24 running back. I dropped him in one league and I regret it heavily. But I'm in a situation now where I'm looking at, am I starting Kamara or Jeff Wilson? And that is a serious question because Wilson looks fantastic.
One trade I regret is someone offered me at the beginning of the year Eli Mitchell and Jeff Wilson for Matt Stafford, and I didn't take it.
Yeah, in a one quarterback league, that's rough. That's something you even consider in a two quarterback league right now. with the way that Mitchell and Wilson just love.
Well, that was after week 1.
Yeah, no, it's a completely different scenario, but it's
But
just crazy.
let's uh let's move on to the Giants. Can we talk about the Giants?
No, hold on, I'm not done yet with this section because I want to talk about his running back duo, Mr. Raheem Mostert. Raheem Mostert, 12 touches for 87 yards and a touchdown. How do you feel about Raheem Mostert rest of the season? Do you start him?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on your options. He was like a he was like a late round flyer. So I mean, if you got 2 good options and like a good flex, maybe not if you're playing standard PPR league. But do you need him for a filler or? But he looks like they're going 50-50. Maybe leaning towards
It looks
Wilson
more
more.
of like a 60-40,
Yeah,
65-35. Wilson's slowly getting more work. I like Raheem Mostert as top 40, maybe top 35 running back with the bye weeks in there. I think you could definitely use him as a flex if you have injuries or a bye week filler, but I love Jeff Wilson and I like Raheem Mostert, and I can't believe it feels gross saying that. That's just the reality of the situation. Now, real quick, who's the biggest winner of the trade deadline? Deontay Foreman or Jeff Wilson?
Foreman. He's getting the starting role.
Yeah, but so is Wilson now too.
Yeah,
Wilson,
but like
2 games, Wilson
Foreman.
looked good both times.
Foreman never got a chance. He was playing behind Lamar Miller, and he was hurt. Then he's playing behind Derrick Henry, and then he showed what he got, and he was a stud. Now he's playing behind Christian McCaffrey, and now he's finally able to show what he's got. He's good.
Yeah, but hey, Jeff Wilson wasn't touching the ball behind Elijah Mitchell and Christian McCaffrey, So
That's because that backfield, just the coach, just like everything about the 49ers, about their running backs.
it's a close one too. I might agree with you, but I'm 51-49. I can see Jeff Wilson outplaying Deontay Foreman the rest of the season. I think it's very close. I really don't. I don't have faith in.
Because the offense.
Yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky. So you wanted to talk about the Giants, huh? What do you think about the Giants?
Go add Darius Slayton.
Really?
Yeah, look at his last 3 games.
Okay. No, I could see that. I'm
I
not.
added him. I had him on my bench this week. Look at his last 3 games: 14.8 the PPR, 14.8, 11.6, 18.5. Go at him.
I think he might be the new number 1 wide receiver in New York. I'm kind of mad about that as a Wandale Robinson owner, because Wandale is clearly the most talented guy. We've seen what Darius Slayton is, and Wandale has shown more in 3 weeks than Darius has his whole career. But my argument for why I don't really believe in Darius Slayton, yeah, you should go out and add him unless you're in a 10-team league. I don't think you can trust either quarterback in this game. I don't think you can trust Daniel Jones to give anybody consistent catches or Davis Mills. I think they both suck. They're both top 10 worst QBs in the league. Daniel Jones especially is a terrible passer. At least Davis Mills had over 300 yards today. I really don't trust anybody that's catching the ball from Daniel Jones besides Saquon.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about actually. I started Cooks over him. Cooks would have probably scored about the same amount of points if that touchdown counted. So I mean,
Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
yeah, but I still won. So now we'll move on. We know Barkley's a stud. We don't really got to talk about Barkley. I hear 30 something carries.
35 carries, 1 catch, 36 touches. It's ridiculous for Saquon.
Yeah.
That is a top 3 pick next year, guaranteed, unless he gets hurt. That's the only thing, going against him. Knock on wood. He's a fucking stud. I called that this year. I was high on Barkley. I wish I drafted him more and trusted my gut. But man, he first round caliber player. Forget the injuries concerns. You don't draft in fantasy to play scared. Draft for the win. Saquon is winning people leagues.
And let's talk about Nico Collins because he looked good.
Absolutely. Nico Collins, another week where he outperforms Brandon Cooks. This has been a battle now for, forget the time that Cooks missed. Nico Collins and Brandon Cooks have been going back to back all season. How do you feel about them rest of the season, and which wide receiver do you prefer?
it's a toss up. Maybe
It's
maybe
close.
Cooks. Yeah, maybe Cooks just because he's a veteran. He's better at the end of the day right now. Like he's been a better player. His career. He's proven himself.
I
By his
agree. He's got the pedigree,
yeah.
but Nico Collins has outplayed him so far this
Yeah.
year. I just if Cooks can get his mind right and want to play for Houston, which I don't think he does right now. He wanted to be traded. I think Cooks will be better. But I don't know if his mindset will get right. I still think I'm Cooks over Collins, but barely. One more week of Collins doing better than Cooks, I might lean the other way. Like you said, Cooks almost had the touchdown. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. You can't really go off that. But that's just the reality of the situation. I think I might take Collins. Like I said, if he has one more week where he outscores him,
Hopefully, Collins gets a better quarterback next year and shows that he can play put up solid wide receiver 2 numbers.
Texans are number 1 right now to get number 1 for the draft. So, and they have the Browns picked, so they'll get 2 good players. Maybe they'll pair someone next to Nico Collins, a receiver, get him a quarterback for both of them, and get rid of Cooks. Let Cooks be happy with Aaron Rodgers. I think that's a match made in heavy. Now, match made in heaven. One thing I want to say is Wandale. I think if he has another bad week or a few more weeks where he's not really involved, perfect buy low in Dynasty. Go out and send a two early third round picks, 2 mid third round picks, or maybe somebody desperate for a quarterback like an Andy Dalton or a PJ Walker or a Sam Darnold if Sam Darnold starts. Send that offer out for Wan'Dale Robinson, and long term you will not regret it. Wan'Dale will take over the wide receiver room in New York. Doesn't matter if Daniel Jones is the quarterback now. That will be temporary. They will replace him, and you're going to want Wan'Dale on your team. I think that's something we should go do right now. Is end this video by saying, let's go work on a deal to go get Wan'Dale Robinson.
All righty. Thank you for watching the Tony Baloney podcast.
Peace out.
Sums it up. Take care, guys.